Hello, ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich,
And I'm Rangru, hello, hello, hello.
and today, of course, is Steel Division, which means it's a 1v1 today, and we're on Samir and Glees. Rang, who do we have?
Well, on the left-hand side, in blue, we have A.Lennart as 101st Airborne Division. And on the right-hand side, we have Zhukodim as 352nd Infantry Division.
I actually didn't get that player name. It looked like you kind of cut out there, but Zhukodim, you were saying, right?
Zhukodim, yeah.
All right, I'm not sure what just happened there, but okay, so we have our beautiful boys in blue and our good old fascista in red. The map itself is Samir and Glees, which we've seen a few times recently, but we haven't seen much of the 101st. What are we going to be expecting out of these two players today?
101st is just fantastic infantry play early on with the veteran AB engineers and AB rifles, so yeah, town should really be a clear shot for him, and also just good airplanes, some nice cheap AT guns which will work wonderfully against the Panzer Renault, and it's just going to be about if A.Lennart can take advantage of the early game so he can ride the points till later game where he really runs out of steam, where the 352nd really picks up.
Now, we were talking before the cast kind of really started here. We said that the 101st is, of course, going to be looking for that town. We talk very often about how Samir Glees, or let's just call it SME, just to make it easier. SME, you kind of focus so much on the town that you kind of ignore the flanks. Does that play better to the 352 then?
Yeah, because 352 does have that MG42 spam, and playing in the open field of MG42s with some infantry and AT guns backing up, they can make quite a bit of progress. And really, I think that's going to be the best for Zhukodim, as early on, his infantry in close range don't match up well against AB rifles or engineers.
Indeed, indeed. But the question is, I guess, looking at this, first of all, place your bets. Are we seeing Dick Winters today or no?
We better.
You're all about seeing that Dick today. Jeez,
Ron. I like seeing little Dickie on the field, you know.
I see.
Yeah.
Another thing we're talking about too. So I guess, and I forget a little bit of forgiveness from our viewers out there. We definitely were talking about this match a little bit before we got started.
Yeah.
But the late game, we talked about how the 101st tends to run out of steam in that later phase.
Yeah.
And that how the 352 kind of just builds up more and more steam. What do you think about the whole idea that the American division does pick up the occasional, let's call it, M10 tank destroyer or something like that? Does that help kind of bolster the late game, or how's that work?
It helps a bit, but the main problem is Zuko can get Jagdpanther. Yeah, it's 15 frontal armor. The max AP A.Lennart can get is 13 with a Wolverine. So knocking out a Jagdpanther from the front in a proper engagement will be a real pain in the ass, put it lightly.
Good to know. We are going to see in the meantime, we are finally getting started here. It was a hell of a beginning. Jesus, such a long thing. We just skipped through a good chunk. I wouldn't want you guys to be too bored for too long. It looks like the Americans are playing very defensive, except in the center part of the map.
Yeah, they're not anything too crazy. Hopefully they can just make something happen in the center, because that is really Lennart's best play for winning. Just try and get that town.
I am amused, actually. You see in the center part of the field that the Americans are bringing a lot of initial flame here. They are not shy about being aggressive, are they?
Yeah, those AB engineers are real deadly in that. Yeah, damn, that is a lot. Real deadly in that CQC, and if they can get the flame on the stormtroopers and grenadiers, they're gonna have Osttroopers, I should say. They'll have a damn good time. But look, we've got 220mm mortars right off the bat from Zook. That's that's expensive. And they are doing work.
But look what they're doing already. They might be locking down the entire American push.
And that's really going to be down to Zhukodim using his artillery to try and even the odds.
And that's what I was going to actually ask you, too. So is it really the question of how well does the 352 push back with artillery?
Yeah, it's all going to be about artillery plays. You see, these mortars are just doing God's work as well. Because really, Lennart doesn't have the best artillery in his deck. He can get the off-map naval, but yeah, that's really it. While we're seeing these 112mm mortars are just... Good God.
Oh, by the way, so the day that we're recording this, a happy Guy Fawkes Day to our viewers out there from the UK.
Happy Guy Fawkes. Yeah, this is sort of a go up, a few days later, but
True, but from one rebellious culture, back to the mother country. Best wishes.
I mean, we literally do have a day about celebrating capturing a terrorist, but there we go, and we burn him down because we're still salty about him trying to blow up Parliament 500 years later, 400 years later.
Though some people, I think, at this point would be okay with it. or is that a little bit too not safe for consumption?
That was a good one. That's a good one. But speaking back in the town, these AV engineers can't do anything. They're pinned down by the heavy artillery that Zhukodim's bringing up, and that was a good play, very good play from two
and the
very good
stovepipe for
players.
the Americans is down too. So the 81 millimeter stovepipe is completely gone, and that's going to cause some issues here.
Yeah, that was. The problem is he's not going to be able to out artillery Zook, and he can't counter battery those 120 mils because they're just out of range. So I don't know, maybe an airplane P-51D bombing a run would be his best bet, or try to get an off-map naval strike.
Well, so far I'm upset to say that we have not seen Mr. Winters just yet. So Major Winters is not making any kind of appearance here. What's more, I'm surprised that P-35 is actually going to get as much damage as it looks like it could get down here. He is taking a rather strange route. Never mind. Kind of expected a much more negative position out of him.
Oh yeah.
And AB Engineers finally making a push up through the center line. That new squad coming on in, coming just between the mortar fire. Plus 120 mils.
Oh, they're just so close against. Well, they're not going to surrender because they're the AB leaders, but very close to getting pinned down. Yeah, A.Lennart is really fighting the morale bar right now as his infantry keep getting stunned up by the bloody mortars. But it seems like he's forcing a retreat here from Zook.
But is that really going to be a massively damaging thing, or is it just going to be much more of a momentary setback?
Yeah.
So you can see right now, both AB engineers, two of the four squads are forced back out of the town. A third one's pinned down. I mean, it seems like the entire thing is stalled.
Yeah, and Zook has now got some Osttroop and reinforcements being brought up, so that was just a little bit of a reprieve. And look at his Panther 35, he is locking down that road, kind of. I mean, it's only a Panther 35, so it's nothing too scary, but still, it's a tank, and there's no well, we've got AB rifles, they can probably just pop it with a Zook.
And that's what I was just going to ask you here, too, is that, of course, while we have the Zooks on those AB rifles, is that really a reliable source of AT? Never mind, we might see that actually borne out in just a second.
No,
yep,
it misses
one round
like
goes out, back away slowly.
And there we go.
Back's broken.
Yep.
I am forced to eat my hat.
Are you wearing a hat right now?
No, but I am gonna watch my poor IG-18 get taken on out by that perfect run.
I know that was a damn good hit, because those aren't really the biggest bombs, but Lennart made them count.
In the meantime, though, we are going to see more artillery getting brought on in, and that 352nd is definitely fighting the fight of the grandfathers, aren't they?
Yeah, but the AB engineers are now starting to get in better positions where they can actually use their Flammenwerfer flamethrower, even though it's not the official title.
Was it an M1A1, I think it is? It's an M1A1, isn't it?
It's an M2.
They're using the M2 at this point.
M2, yeah. I think the M1 was incredibly crap. Like, it just break down for no reason.
True.
Yeah.
True. Now, quick question in the meantime. So those AB engineers, we have 4 of them that found a call to the map already. Is he already going to be tapped out from those from Phase A, or how much more can he really be expecting?
I think you can get a max of 7 AB engineers in total, so he's at least deployed over half of his AB engineer troops. And this is the real problem with 101st, who really throw everything out during A phase, especially infantry rise. So every kill that Zhukodim gets will help him out immensely in the long run, as Lennart can't reinforce as well in that later game.
It is kind of embarrassing, though, to find in the meantime that there's MG from the American side of things. Oh, never mind, it gets stunned up just barely in time. It looked like just south of the town's going to take out an Osttroop squad and lock down an IG-18. That's not going to happen any longer.
Yeah. You see our Osttroop squad behind enemy lines all the way down south?
Yes, I was actually going to see if we noticed that as well. Those guys are hanging up bravely for quite a bit of time. Looks like they're bringing some more checks to back them up. But I don't know if those checks are going to be able to cash. Oh my gosh. I was going to go top bumper, I reckon, but it wasn't going to work very well. I was like, never mind.
I saw the setup, I appreciate it. And I'm very interested in Zhukodim's play, because he's just going for the full Osttroopen spam. You can either pick between Grenadiers or Osttroopen, but Zook just wants numbers over quantity over quality, just with all the Osttruppen. They're not the best in CQC, they only have one submachine gun, but they're 20 points, you can bring out a lot of them, and with the artillery backing them up, hopefully you can just get some surrenders.
And that's really the question, isn't it? Now, I do have to make a nice little call out to Lennart. Lennart is backing away with troops that are running low on munitions. So there's AB engineers. He realizes that those things are important.
Oh, yeah.
So go to like the northwest part of the town, you will see one of them that's completely Winchester on flame. He's just backing away. He's not going to be too aggressive about that. Yeah, I appreciate that.
You really want to keep when your flamethrower troops run out of flame, always pull them back, rearm them, because really it's all about the burn. To put
like
it in tactical terms.
Like being back in high school, man. It's all about the flame wars.
Yeah.
But it is 56-44, and Lennart is taking a good little ticket advantage here.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well considering up north he's managed to get quite a bit of ground with his 50 cal and just AB rifles, and he just needs to, if he can get 2% more of the map, that's going to be a nice +2, and he just wants to get some good positions so he can set up a somewhat decent defense during B.
Well, let's talk about B then, because we're about, what, just outside 90 seconds, 100 seconds out from that. So tell me about it. How does B go?
For 101st, not that great. Only a 5-point increase, and not much in terms of tanks, artillery, etc. It's really just a slightly prolonged A phase with some more plane options. For Zhukodim, he can start getting, I think, Pioneers, of course, some proper tanks such as Stugs, bigger, better artillery pieces. It really and a lot of MG42s if you got MG42 cards in B. But a lot of options here for Zook, and just hopefully he can take somewhat of an aggressive stance up north or down south, because he's getting pushed back pretty bad on the flanks, and he needs to be the one attacking on the flanks.
Indeed. Now, in terms of tanks, he is bringing in the rest of his P-35s. And we were talking before that really the only thing that the Americans are going to be able to do to that is, well, if someone's silly enough to be super, super close, well, Zook's away.
Yeah.
But until then, not a lot's going to be an option for them, will they?
Yeah, I'm not seeing any. We've got one 37mm gun up top, but that's really it. Not much AT for Lennart. You know, at the same time, makes sense. Not really many. Okay, our tanks on the field now, but before, Zhukodim wasn't really using a lot of armor. Heck, he hasn't even used the tank destroyer, the Renault 35 tank destroyer, which makes sense, you know. No real tanks you have to worry about. Exactly, right? Bother. And even those Panther 35s can knock out a Locust if Lennart wants to bring a Locust up.
Now, help me out. Why is it that the German 352 is able to have such amazing scouts, but their mainline infantry is just such crap? It always confused me that they have the Fusiliers, and the Fusiliers are just absolutely stunning.
I know, it's just makes up for that A phase Osttruppen if you just go for the Osttruppen. And I know Fusiliers are so they're just so well rounded. They got the machine gun, they got some sort of AT, good CQC capabilities, and of course the recon optics. They are expensive, but by God, they can really do quite a bit of work.
Sounds about right. We're seeing a big, actually, German side. German's like, yo, dude, okay, we need some more firepower here. And there we go. Here is actually, that was the 35T, 35R, Panther coming on out. So, ironically, we mention it, and there it comes.
There it comes. Just no tanks to really destroy, but some infantry. And speaking of infantry, look at Zhukodim. He's got like 2 platoons where the guys being brought out. I wonder what's going to be inside. I'm hoping it's Pioneers. Or Stormtroop. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows? We'll have to see.
Now, I am a little bit disappointed that the air cover for Zhukodim has been so minimalistic.
Yeah, I mean, now he's got the Focke-Wulf and 36, so hopefully he does step it up quite a bit. Because really, 101st is scary later on with the air power. That's really main strength. Those B-26 bombing runs can get crazy. And oh, look, yeah, Ersatz troop and spam.
That'll do for the moment, won't it?
Yeah, I do.
Now, up to the north, actually, we might see the Americans just collapse. We're seeing nothing. Everything is pinned down.
Yep. Damn, okay,
the leaders need to pin down in a second. But, I mean, with that tank and support and those and the other infantry not being able to do anything about it, yeah, they're all pinned down. They're all falling back. So we might see a collapse on the northern flank here. And while the Airsoft trooper are getting gunned down or flamed to death, we are seeing a German advance.
Yeah, and heck, even if it's Earthsatch trooping, you know, if they die, it's just if they die to flamethrowers, at least they're race and AB engineer ammunition, which is, you know, quite precious to A.Lennart.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully he can, okay, he's getting some stormtrooping squads now to, as the phase 2 of the attack, to mop things up in that town.
Mm-hmm.
I know Sherman DD, actually some proper tanks here from Lennart.
Coming up to the north, right? Yep.
Yeah. And that will help out a lot. There's not really much in terms of armor, yet he has to worry about. He can knock out the Panzerjäger easily, and just hopefully clear up that northern assault, because he's lost quite a bit of ground here.
True. True, but I feel like his center's getting precariously weak, and Zhukodim is only getting stronger.
Yeah.
I mean, comparatively.
Yeah, Zhukodim, and even down south, Zhukodim's starting to take some ground. All he needs is one AG-18 and a Panzer 35 to support his infantry as he pushes up. And, yeah, we've got stormtroopers coming in close, and there's not much in that town anymore. It's very barren for 101st. He needs to get some reinforcements in their stat.
Sounds about right. Now, the funny thing for me is that those AB rifles were like, dude, we're fighting the Airsoft troop and get them to surrender, but just barely inside that Pioneer Fuhrer.
Yep.
And wow, that definitely paid for itself. Yeah, and I mean, keeping your troops on the field, that in my mind, that pays for itself at least.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the meantime, Panzerjäger is shifting up ever so slightly, not to a better position, but at least shifting up a little bit. And actually, the Americans, I think, have kind of collapsed in the south. They have glider rifles out, they have AB rifles, but the machine gun's gone, the anti-tank weapon that was down there, that's gone.
It's a complete collapse, and this is Zhukodim. He's playing pretty well on the flanks now. It's starting to come in his favour into B phase. It's just going to be a question if A.Lennart can hold. He is still having that +1 point advantage, but he doesn't really have much of a lead.
His airstrikes have been on point. He's taken out something every single time he's come in.
Yeah, it's the second IG-18 has been completely blown up. Yeah, glider rifles now. I wonder how the infantry split for Lennart. We can't see the deck, of course, because the deck viewer and the replay is still bugged. But I'm wondering if he has a lot of A-phase, like AB rifles and engineers, or if he has quite a bit of glider rifles during a B and C to help him out.
Now, of course, this is a completely unworthy and unmitigated kind of a thought here, but I would not be surprised to see a lot more AB rifles moving later into the game. You would have to expect that Lennart knows that early push, he can invest everything he wants to, but he really needs to have some more hefty material coming in B.
Yeah, hopefully he does have a few of those guys still left alive. He's bringing in the last of his AB engineers now, I believe, to try and hold on to that town. And you gotta realize he only has like 3 engineer squads. They preferably have to last him the rest of the match. And that match could potentially go on for another 25 minutes. So, yeah, see, already one of the AB engineers is just completely decimated, yeah. And they're pretty much just holding on to that, like, middle road, essentially. It's a no man's land between both sides.
You know, not to go too heavy on this, but the Panzerjäger now has that actual companion here. This Martyr 2 is coming on in, and it's going to get... It's trying to get himself set up to go after that DD tank. I'm not sure how great that option's going to be.
It's a few engagement areas where you can take advantage of that 1.2 kilometer range, and as long as he can stay out of range of the Sherman, he's going to be good to go. But that Sherman is starting to get in rather close now, as it is going to be providing some infantry fire support.
Oh, this could be an absolute stunningly beautiful shot from the side. You know, he's just barely out of range.
Yep. Heck, even a Panjaka could probably knock it out of the Sherman.
At this range? Definitely possible.
I mean, it's going to have a slight side shot, as I'm just looking right now. Yeah,
that seems the Sherman does stop, though, is the problem.
Yeah, and it doesn't. Now, is he taking a Sherman all the way up north along that little path? Because that might be a good choice. Oh, damn, another airstrike. Knocking out another IG-18. He's just on... Like you said, he is on point with him. But
there we go, finally. Finally, the Focke-Wulf does some damage and does take out one of those annoying planes.
Yeah, I feel like Zook may want another he does have another anti-aircraft gun, never mind. So he's doing pretty well, considering. I mean, you don't really get that big of an AA net in a 1v1, so just 2 AA pieces and a 2-star fighter is all you really need right now.
True. True. Acceptable losses, right?
Yeah, acceptable losses.
Now, the Americans have bolstered their southern flank. We now have 4 squads of AB rifles,
Yeah.
plus glider rifles down there. So my guess is that's pretty much all the AB rifles he should have left, isn't it?
Yeah, he may have a few more now, but we'll have to see. My main problem with this is, great, mate, you got the infantry. You're pushing back the infantry. You're going to be completely stopped by one Panzer and Oak because you didn't bring any sort of anti-tank to help you with this southern assault. Which, in this open area, you really do want some sort of long-range anti-tank weapon.
You mean outside of the 200-meter bazooka?
Yeah, I feel like he's going to get a bazooka shot off here anyway, so he will solve that problem.
This P-35, it doesn't seem to have any idea that this airborne rifles are, yep, aligning,
yep,
ready, steady, shoot.
Bailed out.
Yep.
But now can he make the attack and progress over open ground, because it was Osttroopern. They're not great, but they're inside a building, surrounded in the open, so they're going to be a rather tough nut to crack nonetheless, just because of that factor.
True, true, and what's more, I would say the Germans right now. Okay, Focke-Wulf's just running out of fuel. Never mind. Let me take that back for a second. We have 105 howitzer coming on in, and we also have that 356 off-map Colin.
There we go.
So while the Germans are bringing in pioneers to start reducing the town center, and they are doing it building by building, we might see a very quick reversal with one single barrage.
Yeah, I mean, it's all pretty clumped up here for Zhukodim, so just one big bada boom from that naval artillery, and okay, there we go, it's going to be dropping it on the southern sector. Try and clear that out first before taking the center part of the town.
Okay, but here's the question. Will the Stoßtruppen be aggressive? No, they're not. They're just going to hang out in these buildings, and that's going to be their undoing. Those poor bastards.
But,
those poor fools.
The main thing here is he only has like 1 AB rifles to really, you know, attack once the artillery drops down, so really be able to get in there quick enough and force some surrenders with just 1 infantry squad. And looking in the center part of the town right now, not looking good, Khan. Those pioneers are doing God's work.
Indeed, indeed. And what's more, up north we have a Stroke coming on in.
There we go.
So that's going to definitely match up pretty darn well with the Sherman. Let's see how well that artillery does. In the meantime, okay, never mind. There goes the officer support. There goes the stormtrooper. Everything is pinned down. Everything is falling back, and everything is no longer awesome.
Nope. And there's a second run immediately being dropped down. This time on the center part of the town, and we've got some. I think, yeah, some more gliders and 1 more AB engineer being brought in to clear up the center part of the town. Just, can he do it in time? Those pioneers are getting out of range.
But we are to phase C, though, too. So here comes the final beautiful bits of the 352nd.
Yep.
Just a little bit of infantry for now. I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see another rush coming on in. But it doesn't feel like the Americans have really lost as much as they should have.
No, he's still on a +1 point advantage. Even though he is losing the town, he is taking quite a nice bit of ground on the flanks. And that's what's really keeping A.Lennart in the game. And this is going to be, can he coast this off for the rest of the match? Because it's like a 700 point, 800 point difference. That's not too bad. You can still come back from that if you get a +2 now. And Zhukodim, you know, C phase 352nd matches up pretty well against 101st, because A.Lennart must be hurting now in terms of infantry.
True, but it does kind of feel like he just doesn't seem to lose out. I mean, geez, all the Germans behind enemy lines are getting picked up, and, well, getting taken to church. Does not look good at all. I actually had thought the Germans are resurgent here, but that doesn't seem to be happening.
No, that naval artillery really turned the tables there in that center part of the town, reversing the fortunes for 101st, but even then he doesn't have that much in the town. An AB engineer that's almost out of ammo, and the rifle squad's already getting pinned down, so all I think it really takes for Zook is another pioneer suit to take back the area with just some artillery support.
And I would like to see, honestly, either the Stug or, heck, even the Martyr 2 pushing through that northern flank, that big gap in the trees. For that matter, geez, I would like to see him have taken out these Pathfinders. These Pathfinders have been here the entire map, and he has to have known that they've been there. He's driven right by them.
Maybe.
They literally have been there for 20 minutes.
That's pretty that's pretty impressive. Yeah, that's just shows good recon positioning. Unfortunately, I only have anti-tank grenades, so not be able to knock out that Panzer Jaeger. But it really seems like, it does seem to race these tanks up north. Because if Zhukodim could knock out Sherman DD, he'd know, hey, okay, I can now attack up north with my tank force. But this thug has done completely nothing this entire time. And in its position, it could potentially get Zukid from an AB rifle squad.
All right, Germans are pissed. Here comes the Pioneer push that we were talking about. So three squads, possibly 4 squads coming on in.
Yeah, I think that's 4 squads worth. So just another big push here with a lot of infantry. Hopefully, you can get that artillery on point to suppress the Americans. But down south, it's kind of looking better for the Germans as they have set up that defensive position. The Americans not getting past that road, that's for sure.
True, and now with the off-map columns, we only have 1 left. And I guess that was going to bring up a question I was going to ask you before. How often do you use a artillery strike that does not give you the maximum amount of coverage in shells? Like, do you ever do a briefer barrage or a lower cooldown?
Hardly. Most of the time when I take off-map artillery, I'll reinstate the 380mm, the 203s, the big booms. And when you're getting the big booms, you just want to cover as much area as possible because you want to saturate as much of an area as possible with those types of artillery. But when you're using like the cheaper field guns, like 173mm, 150mm off maps, I do find that during smaller engagement areas to knock out specific AT guns or artillery pieces works quite well.
Okay, that's fair. Definitely seems like an interesting idea. Just, trying to field a couple of thoughts here and there for some of our other players might be a little less experienced. I always take notes whenever we cast.
Yeah. And whenever you take the commandos and you get the off-map RT, maximum range every time, baby. Maximum range. you want that 5-minute artillery off-map. It's just it's a great way to annoy your opponent for a good 5 minutes and completely cover a flank. Oh look, we got Stuka up north. Anti-tank run.
Aha, didn't even see that. I was looking at the Stuk down to the south. There we go. 1 shot, 1 kill, and he flies away. The victorious guy comes in, claims his kill, and then bolts. The
main question is now, will Zhukodim attack up north and take advantage of it? Because now it's pretty much clear. For now, we got a 2-star M10 being brought up north, so it may reverse his fortunes.
True, and actually I don't feel like that Zhukodim really is as aggressive as we're used to seeing him. I mean, I feel like he's gotten demoralized by how tense that initial town defense was.
Yeah, I mean, he does have the artillery, but I don't know. I feel like he could have got some more artillery pieces. I believe he can get neighbor Earthers in 352nd, and honestly, neighbor Earthers are the best artillery to bring, the best artillery piece to bring in pretty much every situation. But yeah, it's just. I think he could have used armor a bit better too to try and take some sort of assault.
Well, to work the flanks?
Yeah, to work the flanks, because there hasn't really been much armor present from A.Lennart, and he's been playing into A.Lennart's strength, and that is close-range infantry fights.
That has been a little bit disturbing. So we are going to see, it looks like Lennart's going up to about 1,000 to 12.
Yeah.
Which is shocking. Again, I don't believe in my heart of hearts, even as an American, that this should be happening in this matchup.
Yeah, he's holding on really well, and he does have a few tanks now in the field. He's been pretty conservative with them. He's not rushing them into enemy fire. Or do you have a Stug and Sherman going to be engaging shots down south? I kind of give it to the Stug.
I guess it is just within 1,000. No, it's actually it's definitely within 1,000 meters.
Yeah, it's definitely in 1,000.
It's under 800. It looks like just about 800. The both sides should be able to penetrate each other, not consistently, perhaps, but there's a bounce.
The Stuka has much better penetration chance against Sherman. No, unless the Stuka can get it, really go one-shot king. Yes, he goes.
Yep. But he can't see anything else. He backs away again. Having content to dived down, taking 1 kill,
Yeah.
and yep, the Germans are not going to pull this back, I don't think. Nope, it's going to be an
No,
American win.
definitely. And really, it's just because Lennart has put a pretty steady defense. He still has some of his original airborne troops alive, holding the town, and because he didn't have to contest that much of armor, he just played an infantry match, and 101st wins infantry engagements, even against the 352nd, which has a lot of infantry. It's just in the close range town fight, and the Americans come clean.
Which is really, really surprising.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean that depressively
Yeah.
either. I just that's really surprising. Stuart,
Yeah.
by the way, goes down to the south. What did that get hit with?
Wolverine.
No, he was in range?
Yeah. I must have been a Wolverine. There's nothing else
That's
nearby.
what that makes sense, yeah. That's insane, though. That was like a beautiful shot from way downtown. LeBron couldn't have hit that shot.
I just think Zhukodim just could have used more artillery to help him out, because now he's starting to get out artillery here by A.Lennart with his 105mm howitzers, and that's not good. That's not good, buddy. Zhukodim's just been sticking with 120mm mortars, and he really could have got some other artillery pieces out to help him. I mean, you saw early game, they were doing damn good work, but there weren't enough to take back that town.
Well, let's before we get too harsh on this. First of all, of course, it is going to be an American victory here, but how many IG-18s got brought in and then picked off in like seconds?
A lot. I mean, yeah, he's just look at the history, and just see all the deaths from Zhukodim through A phase. He didn't kill a. He only killed a mortar and AB rifles during A phase. That's it. He only managed to kill 2 units throughout the entirety of A. That's he did get damages on the AB engineers, of course, but not enough to get the killing blow. That is, I didn't even notice that, but that's shocking, Garn. That's really shocking.
Want something even worse? Start checking through the kills. The off-map Artie, for example, killed 5 units by itself, and that's off-map Artie. And some of those things, some of those were low health, but
killed a tank by itself.
Yeah, I mean, the tank actually is moderately impressive there.
Yeah, I mean, A.Lennart just got some damn good kills. I think this Zhukodim needed more fire support in that match, because he went with the Ostroop and spam, and Ostroop and spam can work. It's a good tactic, but you need fire support with them to actually take ground, especially when you're fighting 101st in a town.
True, and it's a little depressing. I think we didn't see Major Winters, but
Yad Panther.
Oh yes, that's true.
Yeah,
but I thought the Yag Panther. Why bring the Yag Panther in?
Yeah, the Yag Panther would have been a lovely unit. That's the brick rule that 101st has to fight against. But because Lennart kept on the pressure, I don't think Zook could have saved up for the Yag Panther to begin with.
So I know you and I are going to be casting another 101st pretty darn soon here, but at least on this particular map, did the 101st win, or did the 352nd just misplay the map?
101st run, A phase kill list really speaks it all. I just think Lennart did some real good infantry play, and he just did some good bloody micro.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Actually, I was going to say a little more. The 352nd might have not really utilized, I'm not going to say their mobility, but at the same time really used their strengths, like you said, move around the sides of the town.
Yeah.
Played at the distance, but you know, that happens sometimes.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, but that's going to do it about me today for me. How about you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Sounds good. Well, folks, in that case, then congratulations to Lennart. Bad luck to Zhukodim. But, you know, top 10, you have to trade at some point. And I guess I'll do it for us today. I'm Con Ulrich.
And I'm Rangru. Take it easy.
Take it easy.